Hello my little woolies. Today we're going to learn how to knit this sweater for children around 2 to 4 years of age. Really easy, special for beginners, explained step by step. Remember, you have a link to my website with the written instructions below this video on the description box. For this project we will need knitting needles 4 and 5 millimeters or US sizes 6 and 8, your tapestry needle, scissors, ruler or measuring tape, and 230 grams of wool, worsted weight, medium or number 4. Very important, before starting, don't forget to knit your gauge swatch with the bigger needles. 17 stitches and 24 rows equals 10 centimeters or 4 inches. So, to knit the back and the front, they are exactly the same. We are going to cast on with the smaller needles 58 stitches. For the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to knit less stitches, so the video is not that long. Now we're going to knit 8 rows in 2 by 2 rib stitch. First row and every odd row. Knit 2, purl 2. That's the repeat, what you will find between asterisks on the written instructions. So we repeat, knit 2, purl 2, until we get to the end, and we will finish the row with knit 2. Remember, the last stitch, it's better if you knit it through the back loop, so you don't get a huge loop there, only on this first row. Second and every even row, the repeat is purl 2, knit 2, and repeat again. Purl 2, knit 2, and we will end the row with purl 2. Repeat these 2 rows 3 more times until you have completed 8 rows in 2 by 2 rib stitch in total. Now take your bigger needle and knit every stitch. This will be the first of 46 rows that we are going to knit in stockinette stitch. So first and every odd row, knit every stitch. Second row and every even row, purl every stitch. Don't forget to change this second needle to the bigger one. It's easy to forget, believe me. So repeat these last 2 rows until you have 46 rows in total. We have done the ribbing and the stockinette stitch section. We are here. Now we're going to bind off 2 stitches at the beginning of the next 2 rows for the armholes. That would be row 47. Knit 1, knit the next, and pass this over this one. We have closed 1 stitch, we knit another one. Knit the following and pass the stitch over, and keep knitting until the end of the row. And here we're going to bind off another 2, so purl 1, purl the next, and pass this stitch over. We have closed 1, we need another one. Purl the next and pass the stitch over, and keep purling until the end of the row. Now we're going to decrease stitches to shape the raglan armhole. So we're going to knit 22 rows, and we are going to decrease 1 stitch at the beginning and 1 stitch at the end of every odd row, only until the 19th row. So we're going to decrease on the 1st, 3rd, 5th, 7th, etc. until the 19th. And the even rows are just rest rows. You just purl every stitch. So, first row of this shaping, raglan shaping. Knit 1, slip 1, slip the next. Put them both onto the left hand needle and knit them together. That's 1 stitch less. Knit every stitch until you have 3 stitches left. And end the row with knit 2 together, knit 1. So we have decreased 2 stitches. Second and every even row, purl every stitch. And that's it. You just have to repeat these last 2 rows 9 more times. So you will have 34 stitches in total. And then we will knit the 21st without decreasing and the 22nd. Okay, now we are just here. We have 34 stitches, we have knitted 22 rows, decreasing on every odd row, but not on the 19th. And we are going to knit this little piece of ribbing. So we have to change again to our smaller needles, and we are going to knit 6 rows in 2 by 2 rib stitch, and we are going to bind off on the 7th row. Excuse me. So we start with knit 2, purl 2, and repeat until the end of the row, ending with knit 2. On the second row, we're going to decrease 1 stitch at the beginning and at the end of the row. To do that, you purl the first, And now knit the following 2 together. And then you continue in pattern. When you see the V, you know you have to knit. When you see the bumps, you have to purl. So purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, knit 1, and knit the following 2 together and purl the last. That was the second row. Now we knit the third row without decreasing. We continue in pattern. We have knit 1, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, knit 1. Now on the fourth row we are going to decrease again 1 stitch at the beginning, 1 stitch at the end. So we purl the first, we knit these 2 together, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, knit these 2 together and purl 1. We will knit the following row, that's the fifth, knit 1, purl 1, knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 1, knit 1. Now we have the sixth, purl 1, knit 1, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, knit 1, purl 1. So we have completed our 6 rows in 2 by 2 rib stitch. You can count them here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now we will bind off also in pattern. That means when you see the V's, you knit. When you see the bumps, you purl. So here, knit 1, now purl 1, and bind off. Pass this stitch over this one. Knit 1, sorry, and pass this stitch over this one. Not too tight. Knit the following one, pass the stitch over, purl, pass the stitch over, purl again, pass the stitch over. Now knit, knit, purl, and knit the last one. So, as I said at the beginning, the front and the back are the same. You just have to repeat what we have done one more time, and then we're going to knit the sleeves. To knit the sleeves, we are going to cast on 42 stitches with the smaller needles. And we are going to knit again 8 rows in 2 by 2 rib stitch. First row, right side of the work. The repeat is knit 2, purl 2. And do it again. Knit 2, purl 2 until the end of the row. Ending with knit 2. And remember to knit the last one through the back loop, only on this first row, so we avoid a big loop there. Second and every even row we knit what we see. So purl 2, knit 2. That's the repeat. Purl 2, knit 2 until the end of the row, ending with purl 2. So repeat these last 2 rows until you have completed 8 rows in total. Now that we have completed our 8 rows in 2 by 2 rib stitch, we are going to knit again a large section of stockinette stitch, always knitting on the right side of the work and purling on the wrong side. But here on this first row, we are going to make some decreases. So don't forget to change to your bigger needle. And now we are going to knit 3, knit 2 together, and here comes the repeat, where you will find between asterisks on the reading instructions. Knit 5, knit 2 together. And repeat. Knit 5, knit 2 together. It's 5 times that you have to do this repeat. And you will end the row with knit 2. So we have decreased 6 stitches. We have now 36 stitches. Take your other bigger needle and, as I said, on the second and every even row we are going to purl every stitch. So keep knitting until you have 10 rows in total in stockinette stitch. Now, after 10 rows in stockinette stitch, we are going to increase 1 stitch at the beginning and 1 stitch at the end of the row. So we knit the first and we knit the second without taking it off the left hand needle. We are going to knit the same stitch through the back loop. So we have increased 1 stitch. Keep knitting until there are only 2 stitches left. And repeat the process. Knit one, don't take it off the needle, and knit it again through the back loop. So we have increased 2 stitches. Keep knitting until you reach row 23 and repeat the process. Increase 1 stitch here, 1 stitch there, just as we did, and then you will have 40 stitches. Keep knitting and we will meet again on row 47. So it's 46 rows in stockinette stitch. So this is row 47, and we are going to decrease 1 stitch at the end and 1 stitch at the beginning. Knit the first, slip one, slip the next, put them back onto the left hand needle and knit them together. And keep knitting until there are only 3 stitches left. Now knit 2 together and knit the last. This is a rest row, purl every stitch. And now we will start decreasing stitches to shape the raglan armhole. So, first row of this decrease section, just knit every stitch. Second, purl every stitch. Third row, from now on we're going to decrease 1 stitch at the beginning and 1 at the end on every odd row. So we're going to decrease on the 3rd, the 5th, the 7th, etc. until we get to the 24th row. So 3rd row, knit 1, slip the next, put them back together and knit them together. Knit until there are only 3 stitches left. And knit 2 together, knit 1. That was the 3rd row. 4th and every even row are just rest rows. We purl every stitch. So you have to repeat these last 2 rows 10 more times. You will end up with 16 stitches. So it's 24 rows in total for this decrease section, and I'll see you there. Okay, this is our sleeve. So far we are here. So now we have 16 stitches and we change to our smaller needle. And we're going to knit 6 rows of 2 by 2 rib stitch and bind off on the 7th. But we are going to decrease 2 stitches, 1 at the beginning and 1 at the end on rows 1 and 3. And this is the first row, right side of the work. Knit 1, slip the next and knit them together. That's knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, and now knit 2 together, knit 1. The second row we just knit what we see. It's a rest row, so we start with purl 2, knit 2. until the end of the row. We end with purl 2. Third row, we're going to decrease again. So knit 1, and now purl 2 stitches together, purl 1, and keep knitting in pattern. Knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, purl 1, sorry. And here we are going to purl 2 together and knit the last one. That's the way to keep the pattern. Row 4 is just a rest row, so we start with purl 1, knit 2, purl 2. Ending with knit 2, purl 1. Row 5 is another rest row, knit 1, purl 2, knit 2. Ending with purl 2, knit 1. Sixth row, again, as the fourth, we knit what we see. Purl 1, knit 2, purl 2. Knit 2, purl 2. Ending with knit 2, purl 1. And this is the seventh row. We're going to bind off also in pattern. So first we see a knit, second it's a purl, and pass the stitch over. The next one is a purl, pass the stitch over. Now knit, pass the stitch over, knit, and so on until you get to the end. So now what you have to do is to block your pieces. I have a tutorial also to teach you step by step how to join all the sweater. I will leave this link for you down on the description box below this video, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for watching. Happy knitting!